You can probably hear my keyboard clickety-clacking. Ooh. Hi, Newt. Newt's gonna be here. Ooh. Ah, come on up, Newt, and say hi before I get on screen. Alrighty, everybody. Newt's up, so I will jump on. Hello, everybody. Newt is... I know you're all here just for Newt, right, Newt? Say hi. Are you going to go in my elbow? Is that what's happening? Yeah, you want to be in my elbow? Is that the important bit? Hi. Who are you? Yeah. Who's a good boy? Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing a good day. Let me max that up so I'm not looking all shiny. Hello. How's everyone going today? Oh, where's my music? Where's my music? No. Music, come back. There it is. There's the nice, gentle music. The somber music of our souls. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in a weird mood today. Hello! How goes everybody? Hello, Lisa. Hello, Dan. Hello, Kayla Jones. Blue Beetle. Everlaid. Tiger Jones. Cyberquaker, good to see you, my friend. Lizicide. Mini Dwarf. Everlaid. Faith Fredrickson. Meg Against the Machine. Good to see you all. Asher, good to see you. Hey, Jessie, you're awesome. Love your videos. Not me so much. Oh, Asher, sending you love. You're lovely. Mwah. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm doing good just playing Oedan 2. I don't know what that is. Oedan 2. I actually haven't heard of that game. Gabby's so happy. Aw. Aw, thank you, so cool. Aw, thank you, Morgan. He is a cool cat. He's cooler than me. Newt is a much cooler cat than me, right, Newt? Hey, look up here. Look at the camera. And you're seeing that's my lunch right there. That's right off camera. I swear I'm not that messy a person, but I've been running around all day. How's everyone doing? I'm living out Black Cat Called Your Dreams vicariously through you. Aw, Orion said. He is purring right now. I don't know what you can hear. Yeah, you're purring. Hey, Newt, can you purr for the listeners? Yeah, rub against the mic there. Yeah? There you get your kitty ASMR. Be messy and be proud. So hello everybody. So before we get started, just so everyone knows what this is my chat stream every single Thursday for about an hour. I just sit and talk with all of you in the chat. I talk about whatever all of you want me to chat about. And yeah, just give me questions, give me topics. I'll rant about stuff. I'll answer questions. Super chats are appreciated. If you give me a super chat, I give you a heart and obviously answer your question. But obviously I try to pay attention to the chat regardless of the super chats and sort of discuss what everyone's feeling and what everyone wants to discuss. So, what's going on? Oh! Oshobie, apology if I said your name wrong, but Oshobie, congratulations on being HRT for 3 weeks. That's amazing. Hell yeah, congratulations. I'm sure you've probably, believe me, HRT is definitely a ride, especially when you're that early in it. So yeah, I hope you're taking it slow and being careful and doing good, because yeah, the HRT can be an emotional journey early on. Hey Jessie, how it's going? Sunk Corgi, good to see you. How's it going? I'm doing overall pretty good. This week has been, I mean, obviously, as many of you know, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I released the Matt Walsh video, which I think overall went pretty well. But obviously, because Matt Walsh is a YouTuber and he has a community, his troll community have certainly come in and gone like, what's the woman? You never answered the question. Could you even define a woman? You didn't rebut any of his points. And also being dehumanizing and gross and nasty. And so some of that just kind of like, they never like get to me in terms of like made me feel bad about being trans or anything like that. But it is just sort of like, you don't put a video out to like get trolls on it, you know? So it's kind of blah. But otherwise, other than that, I'm doing overall pretty good. I'm overall doing pretty good. So, thank you, Dan. Yeah, I was, a little bit of a poke the bear moment where I posted my review of What Is a Woman on Rotten Tomatoes. He hasn't said or done anything on it, but I definitely know it was a little bit of a poke the bear moment. But yeah, we don't need to talk about Matt Walsh. We don't let assholes dominate our discussions here. But yeah, it was definitely a thing. I am working on part 2 though, which I am excited about. Part 2 is actually the more like fact by fact rebuttal of the entire film, as well as some other things that I'll be talking about. Because he's done some very other gross things very recently, as he does all the time. So we'll be talking about that in the next video. So that'll become. But anyways, what else? Yeah, Cyberquaker, exactly. That's what I was mentioning. The Children's Hospital, which Again, I don't want to focus all about, I don't want to be all about, Matt Walsh on this stream. Newt, what are you doing, bud? You're just, like, hugging my leg at this point? Newt's just hugging my leg. But yeah, no, if you didn't hear, he's targeted several children's hospitals on his, show, that have given trans-affirming care in different ways, shapes, forms. Sometimes he's outright lied about the types of affirming care they give with the whole, like, oh, they're giving surgery to kids. And it's caused a lot of harassment against a bunch of children's hospitals, which is absolutely horrific. Like, of all the things to fucking target, excuse my language, children's hospital. It's gross and disgusting, and honestly just angers me. Don't worry, I'll talk about it in a more official capacity. As of right now, it's absolutely awful. Also, just a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, Matt Walsh, bleh, we don't like him here. He's awful. And Libs of TikTok, exactly. The Libs of TikTok did get kicked off of Facebook, which is good. Anywho, well, let's not talk about Matt Walsh, if you want me to talk about Matt Walsh, I'll talk about Matt Walsh. But what do you all want to talk about instead of me ranting about that? Oh, thank you very much, Denise. Sending you love. Thank you so much, Denise Laura Fernandez. Positive I said your name wrong. Blame my mush mouth, but I can never get it right. Sorry, my computer just beeped at me. Sarah, I missed your super chat. Some bears need poking. Yes. I mean, again, it's none of those, like, I'm not trying to instigate the trolls, but also sometimes there's some assholes that need to be like, yeah, screw you, you're an asshole, and I'm gonna say so, and I'm not gonna hide the fact that you're an asshole. NCC 1701 Crease, good to ask you. Good to see you, excuse me. 555 AD, when writers ask what is a woman, should we respond the fact that you're asking the question means gender is blurry? I mean, that's a good response. Like I said, I'll answer. I have a very specific answer to the answer what is a woman in my video on Matt Walsh, and I'll save what my answer is, but that's a very fine answer. I mean, like, when people ask, like, what I'll just spoil a little bit. The point with that I end up making in the second part of the video when we discuss what is woman. Again, I'll have an answer to the question for them, not for you. We all know what we're talking about, but for the people who are going to troll, I have an answer for them. But the point that I end up making is the whole goal of the film What is a Woman, and whenever trolls try to ask what is a woman, is they want that simple answer. They want adult human female, right? And we could tear that apart. It's like, what's an adult? What does an adult mean? Being 18? Well, the other cultures have it as different. That's a social concept as well. What does human mean, right? You know, you can go back to Plato and have him say it was a featherless biped, but obviously that's not a full definition either. Like, there's questions about what humanity means. And the third one, female, like, you're talking about biology? What do you mean by biology? XX and XY chromosomes? You're talking about vaginas? There are people who have XX chromosomes who are born without vaginas. Like, there's so many questions you could tear apart. But at the root of it, the failure of that answer is more the fact that, like, yes, we could, the goal of questions like that is to exclude people. It's always meant to exclude, whether it be adult human female, which is the attempt to, like, exclude trans people. Or you saw, like, many white suffragettes years ago during the suffragette movement trying to exclude black women from the definition of women. Going back to colonialization, the whole idea of our gender ideas today, ideas of separating gender in the ways that we have in our society today, all go back to, like, trying to exclude black people from humanity and from black women from womanhood in comparison to the white, fragile, needing to be protected white womanhood. So it's all meant to exclude. And it also shows a fundamental lack of curiosity and joy and love, and just a desire to explore the world and the universe. That's ultimately the point that, like, I get to in the video is, like, what saddens me most about all of this is, like, yes, it's meant to troll, it's meant to exclude, it's meant to attack, it's meant to harm, but the ultimate sadness is how it's really just a lack of taking joy in the fact that the definition is full. Is fully, completely unknowable, completely. There is no one answer to what is a woman. There's no definition you can give that fully encompasses every aspect of it because it's such a social concept. It's a philosophical concept. It's wrapped up in so many different things, and it's wrapped up in what it means to be human. And it's a beautiful thing to know that the answer to something is never fully within our grasp, and yet some people need everything to be simple and easily defined because they need the world to be simple and easily defined for them. So yeah, I think it's just something that's ultimately what the point will be with the video. Anyways, I missed a bunch of super chats. Let me get to those real quick. Behold, holds up a plucked chicken. Behold a man! Exactly, Molly J. Exactly, Molly J. I will be talking about that in the video. But here, Sam JB, heart to you. You said great Matt Walsh video. You were spot on. Well, thank you, Sam B. I send you love. I appreciate it. I honestly, it's nice to hear that. And I know a lot of people left that in the comments, but again, trolls are trolls. So really, I appreciate the nice comments on the Matt Walsh video. It legitimately does mean a lot, all the nice messages. And I got a really lot of nice DMs from people. So that was really nice. Lily Hazel Eyes, it's good to see you, by the way. Heart to you. You said, hi, Jessie. I'm about to introduce my whole family to the Wicked musical. Pray for my soul. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It's been a while. I saw Wicked, not on Broadway, but when it came to... I lived in Buffalo, New York at the time, and I saw Wicked when it came to Buffalo, New York. It's an interesting musical. I haven't watched it in such a long time, so I don't remember my deep opinions on it. I remember enjoying it at the time, but it's one of those, like, I wonder if it's problematic looking back on it. But Alphaba... always a fun bit. Xana Mandu, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, have you ever played the Kelowna games? Colonia? I actually don't know what those are, so the answer is no, unfortunately. Oh, I have seen these. Are these platforms? Platformers? I love platformers. I've been looking for a good platformer, actually. Because I always like a good platformer, but they don't make good 3D platformers in a while. This actually looks kind of fun. Oh, I like this. I'm going to save this. See if I can find it on a system that I have right now, if they have updates. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you, Xana. I appreciate that. I always like a good platform. Like I said, I've been wanting to play a good platformer, like new Super Lucky's Tale or something. I just been like trying to find good platforms, and it's hard to find good ones nowadays. So that was fun. Trying to catch up on the super chats here. There's a few other ones. Chloe been enjoying season 3 of Harley Quinn. Yes. Zero spoilers. Oh, a little bit of a spoiler for today's episode of Harley Quinn. If you haven't caught today's episode of Harley Quinn, it was great. And I never thought that I would end up being like, yeah, the Joker. I would vote for him as mayor. Like in the episode, Joker runs for mayor. And his policies are like literally like, yeah, no, I'm here for that. I'm here for everything that that Joker stands for in that. And that's, considering how much of an edgelord he is in all other media, I would never have thought that. But I love legitimately the Joker in the Harley Quinn TV show. I'm like, yeah, I'd vote for him. He's a problematic dude, but he's got the right policies. So I really loved that episode. Is so good. Such a great thing. Miss Wiggles, what happened to your left hand? So people noticed I got some scratches. That would be Newt. It is his fault that I have the scratches. Because and it's actually my right hand. It's left on screen. But yeah, see that it's also there. It's because he jumped up on my desk here while I was working earlier today. And I was like, hey, bud. And I tried to push him on his butt. And then he got aggressive. Then he tried to scratch and bite, which he did quite effectively. So yeah, it's a Newt scratch from him, sort of like going at my hand when I try to scooch his butt off my desk because he didn't like it. So cats are cats. They are moody. As you could see, he was just on my lap giving me purrs and love, and then 2 minutes later he'll be like he'll get at you. It's always a relationship with cats, right? It's always a relationship. But yeah, no, the Harley Quinn show was great. Quick Sonic 10018. One second, let me just pull up my screen just went weird. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, super serious question. You think Una and Lana is a ship worth boarding? Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, easily. They've already alluded to it in the show that, like, when they had the fantasy episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Elysian Kingdom, that you could already tell that they hinted at them having had a sexual relationship, at least those fantasy versions of those characters that they were, sort of headed in, like, embodying at that point in the show. But they also have, like, a very strong relationship together. Like, clearly they have a history, they have a thing. So I think there's definitely, even if it's not a canonical relationship, I think Lan and Una, you could find a lot there to, like, ship those two characters. I think there's a lot there to find. But I actually could see it becoming canonical. I mean, La'an is a brand new character, so we don't know her sexuality. She certainly gives off heavy bisexual vibes. She gives off drummer vibes from The Expanse, who is also bisexual and also polyamorous. And then Una, we don't know her sexuality either. We've never seen her date guys or girls within the show. So we don't know Una's sexuality either. So 100% I could see Una and Lan being together, both canonically and also just as a fun ship, even if they don't become canonical. So 100%, I totally buy that. Grim, heart to you. Oh, I just have to say your videos are you video are much needed. I'm assuming you meant your videos or video was much needed. Well, thank you, Grim. I appreciate it. It's good to hear that. Being honest, like, again, the shitty trolls aren't going to ever make me feel bad for being trans. But it is, and again, I know the video is helpful and I got so many good messages, but, you know, our brain holds on to the negative stuff. And so it's just, when you see, like, a bunch of trolls being trolls in the comments, you're just sort of like, Because, again, I want the video to, like, say fuck you to people like Matt Walsh and people who are transphobes. Like, I want to say that, but it's also, like, I don't make the video to get negativity sent at me. Like, I know it comes with the territory. I know it's part of what it is, and I ban the transphobes as soon as I see them. Like, blast you into the shadow realm, as Abigail Thorne would say. But yeah, I don't make it to get that, right? I make it to try and give information, to try to also give, like, a sense of, like, you are being heard and seen, people who know that this asshole Matt Walsh is an asshole, and try to explain maybe to other people too. So yeah, fuck Matt Walsh, fuck the trolls. It still sucks. So I want to say to everybody who sends kind words and kind thoughts and leaves a good comment, it is seen, it is appreciated, and it is very meaningful. It's unfortunate that the human brain holds on to negativity longer than positivity. And so getting a swarm of, like, getting one negative comment sometimes outweighs in your brain a swarm of good comments. So getting a swarm of good comments is very much needed. And so it is very much appreciated. So, I love you. You all are, can I just say I love you all? I appreciate you in this community. It really means a lot to have this community to make things for. Yeah, I hope I always do you honor. Like, I honor the community and I honor what I do for you. But yes, thank you for being there in so many ways. So thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Jason, Lewis, Osiris Axe. Thank you. I love you all. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Oh, I just remembered. Before I forget, I literally just remembered. So I got these. They're little Star Trek candies. Someone just said the Enterprise, and I remember I had them off to the side. It's like I wanted to show these off on camera because I've been wanting to eat them. I actually had a couple of them because they're really good, but they're little salted caramels. But I saved the last two because I wanted to just show them off on camera. They're little Star Trek chocolates. Look at that. It's a little salted caramel chocolate. It's little Enterprise D. I think it's cute. I think it's super cute. They're delicious too. So I just wanted to show them off on camera to all of you because I thought they were really cool. And then I'm gonna eat them as soon as the stream's over. I'm gonna have dinner and I'm gonna eat these for dessert. But I just wanted to show those off. So I just needed to show those off. Those were great. Oh, Matthew, thank you so much. Heart to you. I missed a couple super chats, I think. Let me just make sure I grab those. Okay, let me get to these super chats real quick. Mini Dwarf, heart to you. You said, here's a Marvel-related question and wanted your opinion on this really weird but tiny nitpick. But do you think Ned remembers hacking the spider suit? Interesting nerdy question. So, minor spoilers for the MCU movies, but if you've seen Spider-Man No Way Home, you know that they erased Spider-Man from everyone's memory in the MCU, probably trying to reset him, and so in case the Sony movies want to do their own thing, they can do that, but if he stays in the MCU, they can kind of, like, reset him as a new sort of Spider-Man, or, like, have him in a new place. But anyways, I would guess he doesn't, right? Because people will remember Spider-Man, but I believe Ned hacked the spider suit with the knowledge that he was doing it for Peter. And so as a result, I think anything of him being related to Peter, I think he forgets. If it was just in a context of, like, Spider-Man or helping Spider-Man or knowing about a Spider-Man or a situation Spider-Man was in, I think Ned would remember that. But since he hacked the suit in helping Peter, that's an event in his life that he probably would have forgotten. Would be my guess on how that would work. Though, again, it's very wibbly wobbly timing on me because, like, Doctor Strange himself in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness seems to still remember Peter, even though he said that he would also forget Peter, but that he kind of alludes to knowing and remembering Peter in Multiverse of Madness. So, it doesn't exactly line up 1-to-1. Heart to you, Sev Honda. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, I've never seen Star Trek. Where should I start? I actually did a whole video on that. If you have not, if you're looking for a good place to start Star Trek, I have several recommendations. I have made a whole video on it, and I think there's no wrong place to start Star Trek. Like, pick a series that most interests you and start there, and I think you'll generally enjoy it. I think the only, like, the worst place to start, and yet also the best place to start would be Deep Space Nine, because it's the worst place to start because I think it's the show that, like, rewards the most already pre-existing knowledge of Star Trek going into it. But it's also the best show, I think, overall. So it's also, like, you could start there and just get the best Star Trek show right up front. But it also is the one that requires and rewards the most knowledge. But to make a long answer short, go watch the video if you want my long answer. To make a long answer short, I'll say there are 3 or 4 major starting places to start Star Trek. I think you could always start with the original series. I don't actually think that works great because the show has some great stuff, but it's not aged perfectly. Leonard Nimoy is one of the best parts of that. Next Generation, I still think, is a great place to start. No, the first season 2 is rough, but Next Generation is great. If you look for something more modern, the Kelvin timeline movies, so Star Trek 2009 or those films with Chris Pine, those are great places to start. Star Trek Discovery or Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I also think are fantastic places to start as well. Both of those shows are modern and ongoing. I think those are excellent places to begin. Or if you like animated stuff, I would also recommend Star Trek Lower Decks is my personal favorite, but I think Star Trek Prodigy is also a great introduction to Star Trek. So I would say Next Generation, either Next Generation, Star Trek movies starting with the Chris Pine films, Star Trek Discovery / Strange New Worlds, either of those shows, or Star Trek Prodigy. But it also depends on your preference. So those would be my recommendations for starting. Chloe, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, also highly recommend Paper Girls. Really love how they handle LGBTQ coming out aspect, something I really relate to in retrospect. Yeah, no, I haven't read the comic, but I watched the show. If anyone hasn't seen it, you should 100% go and watch Paper Girls. It's on Amazon Prime. And I thought it was really good. It's a little slow. The pacing isn't perfect, but the concept is just so good. I didn't recommend every Star Trek show that random NPC. I promise you I didn't. But no, Paper Girls is great. I thought it was such an interesting look at how we think about our futures, about how we think our futures will go, and also how we relate to that and how we relate to our past selves. It's such an interesting look at how we relate to ourselves across time. And then there's also some really cool science fiction, like trying to, like, you need to conform to this sort of thing idea, going through, like, time travel science fiction-y stuff. But also the LGBTQ aspect of it was really interesting. I really liked how the one girl, like, saw herself in this is a minor spoiler, but, like, saw herself in the future being an out and proud, like, queer woman and not being hiding it. And as her younger self, she was sort of, like, trying to find that confidence and, like, trying to talk to her own self about how she knew she had feelings for girls. And it was such an interesting way to do that I haven't really seen in science fiction before. At least in live action science fiction. I've certainly read similar stuff in stories and comics, but in live action I hadn't seen that much. And it was very, very good. So if you're and I know the comparison, people don't like the comparison, but I do think it's a decent comparison. If you like Stranger Things, but like a little bit more of a sci-fi bent and also more like women-led, I think you will definitely love Paper Girls. I think it's a really, really good show. I hope it gets a season 2 because I thought it was great. Oh, my phone's going off. Make sure nothing. Oh, just spam. Let me just turn that off. Just got a spam call, so I'm just gonna turn that on. Do not disturb. Cool. Let's see. Jet Screamer, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, you look happy. Have you seen They Them? No, I want to. I'm hoping to watch it this weekend. I watch horror movies every weekend with a friend, so I'm hoping to watch They Them. I've heard decent things. I've heard many, one of the interesting things about They Them that I've heard, which for those of you who don't know, it's called They Slash Them. They Slash Them is like a horror movie that's like about trans and queer folks at a conversion therapy camp, and then there's like a slasher sort of story going on there. And I heard a lot of people complaining is like, oh, it had all these ideas and it doesn't really fully explore them. But then I've heard other people on the other side being like, well, it's just meant to be a fun little slasher movie. And why does every LGBTQ film need to be like this big, thoughtful piece on what it means to be a queer person or the queer experience and da-da-da-da-da? And so why can't it just be a dumb, fun slasher film? And so I'm going to be curious to watch it. I'm curious to watch it because I'd be curious to see where I fall on it, because I don't think it's wrong to have just a dumb, fun slasher movie, But if the movie is trying to like reach for better, like bigger ideas and fails at it, then that's where I'll be a bit more critical. But if it's just a film that like touches upon those things, but it's meant to be just a dumb fun slasher, I think that that's also totally legitimate, and I can totally have fun doing that, right? Not every movie needs to be, a Jordan Peele movie. It can just be like a Fear Street, which, if anyone hasn't seen those movies, the Fear Street movies on Netflix are a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed those trilogy films, but they are just kind of like schlocky horror. Like the Fear Street movies are just like schlocky slasher horror fun, but they're good schlocky slasher horror fun. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting. I'm curious to watch the movie. It should be an interesting sort of discussion. Maybe I'll end up talking about it. We'll see. We'll see how I end up feeling about it. So I might end up doing a review. Missed a couple other super chats to make sure I didn't. Sorry, I'm missing a bunch of super chats here. Gonna catch up on that. Carlisle the Cinephile, hard to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. He said, "We love you too, you wonderful human. Mwah. You are a lovely human." Sorry, aside, Carlisle, you are lovely. Quick aside here. I know many of you know that I've had surgery recently, and part of the surgery for facial harmonization surgery is they go inside your mouth. One thing that I've noticed, I'm starting to get feeling back in my mouth now, just like a little bit, not fully, but starting to get a little bit of the feeling back in my mouth. But I think I sound normal, except for if I talk for too long, my words start slurring a little bit more. And so it's just like my lower mouth gets a little bit numb still. So it's still healing, but it's just interesting as I like talk. I'm just like slurring my words a little bit more, like I'm drunk. So hopefully that part of healing process will get better soon. But it's just something I noticed. Jason Nibular, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, "What's your thoughts on Frenchie's bisexuality in The Boys and Evelyn's bisexuality in Everything Everywhere All at Once? Also, you're awesomest person." Oh, you're an awesomest person. Frenchie's bisexuality, is he bisexual at the show? He might be in the comics. I haven't read the comics. I don't remember Frenchie being alluded to as being bisexual in the show, but I might be misremembering just because it might be just hinted at or little offhanded lines. I know he has more feelings with, I can never pronounce her name, Kiko, the like X-23 equivalent in the universe, she's such a cool character. I just can never pronounce her name correctly because I'm dumb. So I don't remember, and so if they allude to it, it's one of those things where like, it's not like prominent in his character, but again, I just might be misremembering because it's been a minute. So I really don't remember. Evelyn's bisexuality, I thought was like interestingly done in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Evelyn's the daughter, right? I'm trying to remember, or is that Evelyn? Was Evelyn the mother? Was that Michelle Yeoh? Because who is Evelyn the daughter, or is Evelyn the mother? I'm trying to remember. Cast. Oh, it was. Is she? Because I know because she like, oh, that's right. She has the fit. Yes, she's the mother, and she's dating the hot dog thing. Thank you, Miranda. That's right. I loved that. Oh my god, yeah. No, I adored that. Like, because now I'm remembering. If you have not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's such a great Grim. I did answer your super chat. I remember seeing it earlier. But no, I loved that. The hot dog finger universe was amazing. But what I loved about it was by alluding to the fact that she is bisexual in other universes, it kind of opens up the door for part of what the film was about, where it's like she has kind of repressed these aspects of herself that she is like just not really explored in totality, and like this whole metaphor of the multiverse that the movie is using is like all these potential things that she has like wanted to go for and reach for, but she never really allowed herself to pursue. But ultimately she needs to find contentment in what she has and the universe that she's in, and like what she wants to go for, and being able to like love who she is and love others, and find meaning in the world that she has. Instead of falling into this like endless, meaningless nihilism that this endless thought of the universe has. But that avenue is talking about like she is bisexual, and it's an avenue of her life that she could have explored. And I thought it was just very funny, very over the top, and so heartwarming. In another, yeah, exactly. The line, "In another life, I would have liked to do laundry with you." It was such a great line. Like that whole movie is phenomenal. If you have not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, legitimately stop this stream and go watch it right now, because it is easily one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It is so good and so perfect. And I thought it was just excellent. So yeah, I agree completely. All right, getting to some of these other super chats. I want to make sure I don't miss them. Hobo Zero, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, "Hi Jessie, newly out trans woman here. You're an inspiration. How can I get money help for a transition outside of GoFundMe or POP? I'm assuming that's another like GoFundMe type of thing. I'm a single mom without money. PayPal. I mean, I have seen people be able to help get funding through PayPal. Like try and raise money through like different events. And it sucks. I hate that it's even like a thing. It frustrates me because I don't really know a good answer to this. Like, it should be just something covered by insurance, which most insurances don't, especially depending on an area. I was lucky I lived in an area where I could, number one, afford insurance, and number two, the insurance covered it. And so it's... Oh, Jedi Andy Jones, by the way, it's good to see you. And so it's rough. I wish I had a better answer to the question. I think, like, there are also, I know there's some groups that can help fund that, and I don't know the names of them off the top of my head, but I know that there are some groups that help fund that. If anyone has any suggestions in the chat, I would like love to hear some thoughts. But yeah, I think like getting a GoFundMe is sometimes helpful. You know, asking in community, like trans community, like direct aid. Direct aid also is very helpful as well. I've seen a lot of like direct aid be helpful as well. So yeah, I think that there are some options, but I don't know them off the top of my head, and I wish I did. I wish I had a better... It's something I should look into more to like better be able to advocate for that and how better to fund trans healthcare. Because it's something that I like am seeing a lot of other folks do, like Keffels, for example, and a few other people who are really pushing and trying to make sure that people who don't have access to trans healthcare get it. So I want to be better able to articulate an answer, because the fact that I can't articulate one as well right now is a failure on my part. So I want to make sure I do that. So I'm going to make sure I get that done. So apologies that I don't have a better answer for you, but thank you for your kind words. So apologies on that front. It's catching up on the next super chat real quick. Morgan, heart to you. Hi, I don't care if you saw my last one and I want to give you more money. Apologies if I missed your last super chat. Sorry, Morgan. Apologies if I missed your last super chat. That's on me. But you said, I'm thinking of doing DIY, HRT, estrogen, and androgens and stuff. Any advice? DIY, just be careful. And I'm sorry that you like, I'm assuming the reason you're going DIY is because your doctor or you're unable to get it from like a trans affirming physician. Again, it sucks that that's the situation that you're placed into, Morgan, and it sucks. I think the best advice is just be careful, and if you do have a doctor, try your best to like at least ask questions and try to like stay aware of your health. Not because I don't think it's like, I think people who are, you know, able to get hormones should be able to get hormones in any way they want if they're trying to get it and they're unable to get it due to biases against the law. But the one thing I do, biases by like laws and things like that. But I also just want to make sure that the one frustrating part about doing DIY hormone programs is like they can be dangerous to your health in certain aspects. Like just, you know, everyone's body's different and everyone's going to react different. And so it just sucks that you have to do it on your own in a way that like may do that. I'm not trying to scare you, because I think you should be doing that. So that's not me trying to scare you. I think it just be responsive to your body, listen to your body, take it slow. I mean, how I did it with my doctor when I was prescribed hormones is we start off on a low dosage and then slowly tempered up to just make sure that like it wasn't going to be like all at once, and just to make sure my body could handle it and everything. So I know it's like an element of like wanting to get right on it and get going and going quick, but I think just starting slow and taking care and just be paying attention to your body and how your body's responding and being patient, I think is the best advice I could give on that front. So yeah, I think that's the best advice I can give. Swishfish, heart to you. And make sure I didn't miss any other ones. Yes, okay, Swishfish. You said, hi, Jessie, trans woman and Trekkie, big fan of your content. Found you through Steve Shies last year, and I'm happy I did. Favorite episode of Enterprise? I just did I did a list, actually, of my favorite Enterprise episodes over on my secondary channel. So if you, what's that? I believe I remember what my top episode was. Let me just quick see. Okay, good, Morgan. I just saw you say you have Midwestern and have weird parents. Parents can be weird, believe me, and so I'm sorry that sucks. But yeah, talk to your doctor about it. I think that's the best thing. If you're able to talk to your doctor about it, I think that's the best thing, just to be safe. But I also understand the need to do DIY HRT if you're not feeling safe to get them any other way, or unable to get them any other way. Anyways, what I was saying about Star Trek Enterprise. My favorite episode, I did a whole list of my favorite episodes of Star Trek Enterprise on my secondary channel, but I believe my answer was Terra Prime and Demons, which is the finale, quote-unquote, of Star Trek Enterprise, the final 2 episodes before These Are the Voyages, and we don't talk about These Are the Voyages. I love Demons and Terra Prime because those are 2 episodes that I think encapsulate everything that I wish Star Trek Enterprise had been able to do over the course of its 4 seasons. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot to love over the course of 4 seasons of Star Trek Enterprise. There's some really good gems in there. There's some rough stuff too, but there's some gems in Enterprise, especially in season 4. But those 2 episodes, I think, encapsulate, it shows an imperfect humanity, a humanity that is still dealing with xenophobia and fear and prejudice, and still dealing with that. So it's an imperfect humanity before we get to see the better, more evolved humanity of the original series or the Next Generation. And yet the episodes also showcase that it's by coming together, by finding community, by building coalitions, by overcoming these biases and bigotries in those ways. I think that it ultimately allows us to it's what allows humanity to move forward. It allows us all to, as long as we take delight in the differences of others and the differences of life forms, that's how we're able to create that better future for humanity of Star Trek. And so those final 2 episodes, I think, were really the 2 episodes that fully encapsulated, like, this was an era, this was a story that only Enterprise could have told. And I wish the show had been better able to showcase that. I think the show For All Mankind, if anyone's watching For All Mankind, I think For All Mankind is a lot like what I wish Star Trek Enterprise had been. I think For All Mankind is like what Star Trek Enterprise should have been as a show. But I think those final 2 episodes really capture that. And I think it's a really good ending to Enterprise. And if you look at, like, These Are the Voyages is more of like a coda to the, like, Brandon Braga, Rick Berman era. Rick Berman, but, like, the TNG era of Star Trek. I think that it works better as that, and that Terra Prime is more the actual finale of Enterprise. I think it's a really great finale, and it's 2 of my personal favorite ones. So yeah, I think that was my answer in my original list. I'd have to double check, but that's the one that immediately comes to mind right now. Amelia Turi, heart to you. You said, a random Trek idea. What if there was a Trek show that was a setup like Prodigy, but it was like a disco spin-off focusing on Adira and Tilly and some new cadets that took place in the 32nd century Starfleet Academy? I actually think that they might be doing that. They Alex Kurtzman said at the Star Trek panel at Comic-Con this year that they are working on 2 Star Trek shows, and one that was there was the Section 31 show. He said 2, he didn't say which ones they were, but Section 31 was one that most people assume is still in the works. But then also the Starfleet Academy show is also one that's been rumored to happen. And the Starfleet Academy show could be anything, but they did sort of have Tilly leave to go join Starfleet Academy in Season 4 of Discovery. So that would be a nice little setup for a spin-off show right there. Now, obviously, they could do a Starfleet Academy show set in any era at any time, if they didn't want to go that route. But if they wanted to link it to an established Star Trek show, going off and doing it with Tilly, being like an instructor at the Academy, and then having Adira there as well, would be excellent. I think that'd be a perfect choice, to be quite frank with you. I would love that as a show. I think that'd be great. Like, Tilly is wonderful, and I was kind of sad that Mary Wiseman wasn't in as much as Star Trek Discovery Season 4 for either being at pandemic reasons, or because she was busy, or because they were setting up the Starfleet Academy show, or just because they didn't have anything for her to do as a character. It was sad to lose her, so I'm excited to see what they can possibly do with her, possibly in a spinoff. So yeah, I totally see that. Hey, Geek Filter, heart to you. Hey, my friend, I'm moving this weekend, but we need to talk about... Yes, we will talk, Geek Filter. I am so sorry that we haven't talked. Again, It's not you. I'm sorry that I've been busy, Geek Filter. Hopefully your move goes well, but I've been meaning to get connect with you because there's a lot to talk about, and I've just been busy, and I've been working till like late every night this week because I've been behind on a few things. So apologies. We will talk, Geek Filter, but heart to you, my friend. James McGregor, heart to you. You said, hi, I'm excited for Series 3 of Lower Decks, and I'm halfway through Series 2. I've also seen one episode of Enterprise and quite enjoyed it so far. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! You should really be excited for Season 3 of Lower Decks. I can't spoil, but I will say, just being open and honest, I was given screeners, as a few other critics were, of Star Trek Lower Decks, like last week or 2 weeks ago. So I've seen a fair bit of chunk of Lower Decks Season 3 already, and it is so good. Like I said last week, I think on stream, the last two are two of the episodes that I've seen in the season. Like, the whole season's good, but there are two episodes in particular that I adore with all of my heart, and I haven't even seen the full season yet. So there are two episodes that I really, really love. So y'all should be very, very excited. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there's some good surprises, some good appearances, and also just some really good storytelling and character beats. So yeah, you should all be very excited for Lower Decks, because I think it's a really strong season. So yeah, that's all I'll say for there. Let's see. Carla, listen to File. Do you plan on watching House of the Dragon? Answer is yes, despite being burned by the Game of Thrones ending that I'm super hyped for. Yeah, I'm going to be reviewing House of the Dragon this weekend. I will be honest, though, and say I am not super excited for it. I've seen a lot of hype for House of the Dragon, and I get why. Like, don't get me wrong, like, fantasy, politics, and machinations, like, all that stuff was my favorite part of Game of Thrones, and that seems to be even more the focus of the show. But I also am just like, I'm not interested in like immediate prequels. They had like 3 ideas for Game of Thrones shows. There was the one that was set thousands of years before. That was like the Age of Heroes that they talked about. And like, that would really interest me, because like, that's when it's prequel, but it's so long before you could have done so many different things. I didn't know anything about it, that I think like that would have been fascinating to me. And then there's also a sequel show that they still might do that focuses on Jon Snow. I also would love one on Arya, that like shows what happens after. And both of those are vastly more interesting to me than a show set like in the near-ish past, because it's just like, I get like you can like mess with stuff and play with stuff, and like Better Call Saul, for example, is a good example of how to do a prequel, and I think you could do that. But I ultimately worry with these like big shows that they end up like things like The Mandalorian or something like that, where it's like good, but it's ultimately just trying to reaffirm what we already kind of know. So like that's my concern with House of the Dragon. So yeah, like political infighting, Game of Thrones stuff, I'm excited for. Even though I was burned by the ending of Game of Thrones, but I like the people who were in charge of the ending of Game of Thrones are not on the House of Dragon, so I'm more excited for it in that sense. Because I don't think the ending of Game of Thrones was like, my hot take on the ending of Game of Thrones is like, the storyline choices were not bad. The overarching ideas weren't bad. It's just that they try to condense it into so short a time that they just didn't work, because they didn't give those character arcs and beats enough time to develop. And so I that's ultimately what led me to be frustrated with that final season. I think many people to be frustrated with that final season, because like the turn of Dany into like fantasy Hitler just was too quick and rushed. So I think I am excited for the show. I will say I'm much more excited for the Lord of the Rings of Power show. That is vastly more interesting to me. Just because it is a series that like is set so long before and is doing an era of the Lord of the Rings history, Middle-earth history, that like you've heard so much about, but you have not gotten to see, and it will explore an area more of Lord of the Rings world in a way that the movies and The Hobbit didn't necessarily always get to explore. Whereas like Game of Thrones seems like it's exploring the Red Keep, but it's like exploring the same areas again. So I am much more excited for the Lord of the Rings show than the Game of Thrones show. But I will be watching both and talking about both. So that is a thing that is happening. Catching up on more super chats. Oh no, my chat. Kathleen and Beth, I saw your super chat, but I didn't get to... Here it is. Okay, good. Kathleen and Beth, glad to hear you continue to heal. My lower lip eventually went back to feeling normal, except the scars feel like a little twig stuck against my gums. Yeah, I'm starting to get feeling in my lower lip more. Also, Kathleen, Beth, great to hear from you. Yeah, it's feeling better. I'm getting more feeling back. Like there's more tingling down there, but it's still a little bit numb. But yeah, I can see like it's not bad feeling. It's just like, oh, that's a little scar tissue. It's just kind of fun to like feel. It's like, oh yeah, there's a little scar. There's a little scar right there. So yeah, no, it's healing well. Mr. Krabs, hard to you, said, hey, Jessie, I saw you Sonic tweet on Twitter and just wanted to say I remember a bunch of chuds trying to play Sonic Being Progressive series. Played on Sonic Being Progressive. I never understood that. Like, don't get me wrong, the new Sonic movies are fun. They're not great. I like Sonic 2 better than Sonic 1. because I think it's more like out there and weird and bonkers. Like the first movie was kind of like just a normal like blah adventure, like Sonic's in the real world and he's being chased by Robotnik. Whereas like the second one is kind of that too, but it's like got a little bit more crazy because you bring in Knuckles and Idris Elba. Knuckles was wonderful. You bring in Tails, so it allowed the zaniness of the Sonic universe to shine through a little bit more. But like my problem with them is like he's best friends with Cyclops cop. I forget his name, but the actor who plays Cyclops in the X movies, in Westworld. I'm blanking on his name off the top of my head. But he's a good actor, but he's like a cop, and it's like Sonic's friend, besties, an actual adoptive son of a cop, and I'm like, mostly because like the character was so incredibly progressive. I mean, like, if you remember in the old Sonic show, like there's an animated cartoon where he's literally like he's a freedom fighter. He's like literally a rebel. Like he's literally fighting against this like evil like environmentalist like capitalist dude Robotnik, who's like destroyed the whole world in this horror hellscape capitalist hellhole that he's created. Industrialized hellhole, I should say, like, not necessarily capitalist. I don't know if there's like money exchanged in that version of the world that Sonic set up. And yeah, that's not exactly a perfect show because he does end up like trying to like reaffirm the monarchy that had been established beforehand, which is also a problem. But he is still like a rebel, and one would even consider like an eco-terrorist in certain ways. So he's certainly a more progressive character. And Jimmy Nail says James Marsden. So yeah, no, Sonic was a progressive. It's like a lot of kids' cartoons are, right? Like a lot of kids' cartoons, even back in the day, but obviously still today with like things like Steven Universe, Kipo, Dead End Paranormal Park, She-Ra, like all of those shows are incredibly like, honestly, some of them are quite radical. Like Kipo and She-Ra are quite literally like about rebelling against the system, rebelling against the status quo, and forming like diverse groups of friends to be able to push back. Steven Universe too, to like fight back against like space colonialists, and space fascists. So like hell yeah, they're quite radical, and I think Sonic was no different as a kid's show. But yeah, certainly the movies have removed the edge of him. To be fair though, I still enjoy them. They're still fun. I still have fun with them, but there's still like there is some propaganda problems within those movies that is an issue. So, Jessica, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. Redank12, you said, been thinking about changing pronouns from he, him to he, they, but I just don't know. Not sure if I'm really feeling gender dysphoria. Any advice? Redack, what's to stop you? My advice would be you to try it. See, the thing with pronouns is like they're pronouns. They're like clothing, I think is the best way to put it. Like you wear a dress or you wear a shirt and you wear it to like see if it fits. Like you go to a store and you try it on in the mirror and you see it's like, oh, this fits me. Or maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Or you buy it, or maybe you return it. Clothing is a form of gender expression, and so are pronouns. Pronouns are a form of gender expression, a way we express ourselves in the world and ask other people to respect us. So there's nothing to say that, like, try it out. Ask people to say, use he, they. Like, ask people, like, can you use he, they for me? And then if you try it and you're like, yeah, this fits, this works for me, and you enjoy it, then I think that's totally fine. And if you end up being like, I don't know if I like people using they, them for me. It doesn't really fit. And then it's like, okay, that's cool. Then just ask people like, oh, no, it's fine. There's such a big deal made of like, oh, your pronouns need to be like the problem that the people have with like pronouns that we push back against pronouns, why we make a big deal on this, because when people aren't intentionally respecting your pronouns, when they're trying to downplay seeing you, what you've asked to be seen as, and it's a disrespecting of yourself when people intentionally don't use your pronouns intentionally, I should say. And like people using the wrong pronouns, it happens. My parents do it, and my parents are very affirming to me. But sometimes they make mistakes, and it happens. It's okay. As long as they don't do it repeatedly and show no effort to try and change. Because then that would fall back into intentionally, whether it's an active intention or a passive intention to not see you and respect you. So yeah, I think you could just try it out, see if it works, and if not, then that's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. So that would be my response to that. Hopefully that's good advice. Hopefully that was helpful. Jimmy Nails, heart to you. Hello, Jessie. Hope you're well. I am well, Jimmy. Mwah, you are lovely. Hashtag Weirdos Pride, proud freak. Hell yes. Weirdo Pride. Hell yes. Lisa Garrison, heart to you. By the way, Lisa, I saw your message. I'll message you back at some point. I've been busy, but I did see your message, that the DM you sent me. Do you ever read Strangers in Paradise? What is Strangers in Paradise again? Why am I blanking on that? No, is this the comic? I don't think I've ever read this. This is a comic series. No, I have not read this. For some reason, I feel like there's something else, like a Star Trek book or something like that. But for some reason, I don't remember what it was. But I don't think I've read it. If it's the comic you're referring to, no, I haven't. If it's a Star Trek thing, I don't remember either. So no, I haven't, sadly, unfortunately, Lisa. But yeah, no, I have not read it, unfortunately. I don't know anything about it, to be quite frank. It looks like a lesbian thing. Just by first cover alone, I'm like, that looks very lesbian. Which I'm here for. Yeah, I think I called it. It's a lesbian thing. It's very much... And I said that just seeing a picture of a girl. It was like, it looks very lesbian. It's gotten a lesbian vibe. Which I'm here for. Yeah, it's definitely got a lesbian vibe. I'm down for it. But yeah, I haven't read it, so I can't give you a good review or discussion on it. Punk Rock Zoologist, heart to you. You said, I love to see a show focused on post DS9 Bajor and Cardassia. Yes. Yes. I would love that. I would love a specifically post DS9 Cardassia to see like a post-fascist society healing from itself. Una McCormick, I know you've read her, Punk Rock Zoologist, but Una McCormick, who's my favorite Star Trek novelist, did a bunch of books set in a post-Dominion War Cardassia and like this post-fascist society trying to heal from the wounds that it inflicted upon itself, the wounds the Dominion inflicted upon on it, and also the wounds that it inflicted upon others, and trying to reconcile all of those things and wrestle with all of those things. And I think she just really did a great job. So a post Dominion War Cardassia would be great. Post Dominion War Bajor would be interesting too. Like within the Federation would also be interesting. I would probably be more specifically interested in Cardassia just because we got so much about Bajor in Deep Space Nine already. But both would definitely be interesting. So yeah, it'd be really cool. Zendu, oh cool, I made it to the weird stream. Well, hell yeah, welcome to the weird stream, Zendu. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hell yeah, be weird, weird pride. We're all here for that. Mr. Krabs, oh dang it, why is my thing keeps jumping in? I just saw your chat, Mr. Here it is. Mr. Krabs, heart to you. You said, let's see. Also, have you played some of the Ratchet & Clank games, the new one too? Because all the games I know are very anti-capitalist jokes, etc. I have not played all of the Ratchet & Clank games, but I did play Rift Apart and loved it. Rivet, amazing. I love Rivet as a character, and yes, very anti-capitalist as a series. But yeah, no, there's such fun. The platforming is really fun. The story is really good. Again, like subtly anti-capitalist. I love the idea of like alternate universe stuff that it does well, and it like didn't go. What I loved about Into the Rift, whatever the most recent one was. What I loved about it was that it could have gone crazy with the multi-dimensional stuff, and I did have a lot of fun with the concept and gameplay, but it didn't go too weird. It mainly stuck to two universes, and that's really cool to see that restraint, because when you do see something like that crazy with the multiverse, you can get crazy really quickly, and I love games that like have fun with that, but don't go so bonkers with it that there's no that it becomes incomprehensible. So I really think that that Ratchet & Clank game was really, really good. I just played it like a month or two ago. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, I did play it, Mr. Krabs. It was a great game. Panda Puke, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, sincere thank you for all the Trek content. It's nice to listen to while I clean. Oh yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy. I will always be happy to give more Trek content. And my next big project is going to be after I finish this Matt Walsh video. More than likely, I'll probably have some videos between now and then, but my next big project will be the Sexton Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which will be fun. So I'm hoping to try and get that done by the end of the year. My goal will be to get that done by Christmas. It might be my big December video. But yeah, that'll be my next project. So I'm excited. I hope you enjoy it. CRG Kevin, hey Jesse, I highly recommend the Sojourn audio drama as a semi-hard science fiction story with strong themes about identity. Yeah, people have recommended this. I've actually subscribed to the Sojourn audio drama, and you know me, I love audio dramas, so I will definitely listen to it. It's on my thing. I'm doing a minor re-listen to the Magnus Archives podcast because I have a friend of mine who is listening to it, and I kind of want to re-listen to the Magnus Archives because they're great. If you have not listened to the Magnus Archives, best horror audio drama that you will ever listen to in your life. It is so freaking good. You owe it to yourself to listen to the Magnus Archives if you have not listened to it. It's so freaking great. But yes, Sojourn audio drama, I've heard many good things, and it is on my list, and I will get to it because I actually literally have it subscribed on my phone, so I do plan to. James McGregor, heart to you. Also, yes! Hell yes, James! The theme for Enterprise is a bop. Yes, it's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally near, and I will see my dreams come alive at last. I will touch the sky, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna change my mind, 'cause I've got faith. Sorry, I had to do it. Sorry, I just had to do it. You made me think about it. It is a bop, and I love it. Elsie Leona Boyd, was the bar in She-Hulk a gay bar? No, I don't think so, because there were dudes there, and then also chicks there. So I don't, and usually they're very like, not that gay bars are necessarily gender exclusive, but they generally are like one gendered focus, especially if you see it in She-Hulk. And I also don't think Disney would go so far as to put a gay bar, go so far, quote unquote, to put a gay bar in a Marvel show, which sucks. Because they should. If they're going to show bars, there's nothing that much different about a gay bar versus a regular bar. But of course, Disney's going to be all like, we need to be very careful with our representation of gay people, which means you'll give us little allusions to stuff. And it just always frustrates me because any little allusion to queer folks in Disney always gets people like, oh, look at the woke agenda. And I'm like, if these people are always going to get mad about stuff, if they're going to get mad about a person wearing a trans flag shirt in Baymax like people do, like people just wear trans flag shirts and trans stuff like they just exist in the world, if they're going to get all pissy about that, then screw them. Just go full bore with it. Who cares at this point? Like, they should have done that forever ago, but at this point, like, it just shows, like, how, like, you're never gonna appease those people. They're only there to get angry. They're hate mongers, and they're only there to peddle hate. And they're gonna get angry at little bits of things because the right and these groups stoke anger at, like, politicized trans and LGBTQ bodies in general. So, screw them. But anyways, yeah, no, I don't think it was a gay bar. Should have been, though, but it wasn't. So yeah. Let's see. Liam lives on. Heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. He said, only found your channel recently and love it, even though I'm not interested in Star Trek at all. Hell yes, I will get you into Star Trek, Liam. We will get you. I will make you a Trekkie. My goal here is, you know, the right wing is always talking about, like, oh, the trans and the children. The LGBTQ's agenda is to make all the kids trans. And I say, that is bullshit. My agenda is to make everyone Trekkies. All right? If Matt Walsh goes on his channel and is like, look, the trans agenda is to make everyone Trekkies, I'd be like, you know what? The man has a point. He's absolutely right. My transgender is to make everyone a Trekkie. I will radicalize you all into the Trekkie agenda. So yeah, no, I'd be like, you know what? I agree with him. You know, what is a Trekkie? Indeed. Make a whole movie about that. Going around to everyone asking, can you define Trekkie? That would be a fun movie to make, actually. I would love to do that. Just, like, exploring, like, ways different people define themselves as fans of things. That would just be kind of a fun documentary, maybe. Maybe something to make one day. But yes, that is my agenda. Gotta rep the Sojourn, Faith Fredrickson, Heart Hughes. Gotta rep the Sojourn. Hell yeah, I will listen to Sojourn. I promise you, and I will give thoughts on it. But if you're listening to a good horror podcast, I know people are asking about Magnus Archives. That was the one I was mentioning earlier. Best horror podcast I've ever listened to. It is fantastic. I did a video on it, so check that out if you want my full thoughts on it. But Magnus Archives, so good, so good. All right. It is running up to the top of the hour, and I need to get dinner soon. So I'm gonna quick run through these super chats and then hang out with the chat a little bit, because I want to make sure I hang out with some of the more recent chats. So no more super chats, if you can, because I want to just focus on the ones I hear and also talk with you really quickly. So 255AD, heart to you for your $2 super chat. Thank you so much, lovely. Punk Rock Zoologist, heart to you. Also, just want to make sure you got the painting I said. I did get it. I had it in the other room. I haven't gotten a chance to show it. Remind me, send me a DM next week, Punk Rock, and I will try and remember to have it on stream so you can see it. But I do have it. I just don't want to get up because I have all this stuff on and the stream's almost ending. But I did get it, so thank you. Loose Minax, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat, my friend. You said, thank you for your work, Jessie. Your videos are great and helped me explore my weirdness. And having done that, I'm happier than ever. Stay weird. Hell yes. Be proud of your weirdness. All of you. Be proud being weird. Mwah. Being weird is great. Being weird is fantastic. Being normal, I've seen normal people and they don't impress me. They don't impress me in the slightest. Weird people always impress me. So stay weird and stay wonderful. So yes, hell yes. Hell yes. And yes, I'm glad Jedi Indiana Jones. I'm glad I made you a Trekkie. Hell yes. This graphic programmer, heart to you. You said so many kids programs are progressive because they are teaching morality and kindness. Having morals and being kind are inherently progressive. Exactly. And being radical and like teaching kids to want to push back and try to change the world is a good message to kids. Like fight for the world to be better. Fight for the world to be a better place. And always hold on to that radical empathy and joy and faith in humanity. It's such a wonderful thing. Let's see. Tiki Dragon, heart to you, said, since you enjoyed the Rush Ratchet and Clank game, I suggest the stupendium called Fragments. Ooh, okay, I will check it out. I always love fan video game songs, like Miracle of Sound was always fun when I was growing up. I always listen to Miracle of Sound. Was wonderful. And I did see one more. Is that the last one? There's one more super chat by 255AD. Heart to you. You said, so when streamers get above a certain size, I hate when they say, I'll favor serious, I'll answer all questions, but practically you can only respond to, yeah, it is an unfortunate thing. And I know I fall into it too. I try my best to pay attention to both the chat, but it's like, I do know if I'm going to answer questions, I try to pay attention to the super chats because I do appreciate and they do help pay the bills. But I do want to try and make sure I give time to people who either can't give money or don't want to give money because it is a community of everybody. So it sucks that, again, that whole stuff. So it's trying to be a balance. And I know I don't do it perfectly. So to all of you who aren't able to give super chats or don't want to give super chats, I see you and appreciate you and still love you as part of this community. And speaking of which, I'll hang out for just a few more minutes. Is there anything else anyone who wants to say before I finish off who isn't able to do a super chat? I just want to make sure I get to see everyone's chat. Oh, someone awesome. I'm so sorry. I asked you multiple times if you like Splatoon. I actually have not played Splatoon. It is not a game that is like my... I feel like I would like it, but I don't know. Just something about it never like struck me. And it also felt like a very multiplayer focused game. And for some weird reason, I honestly don't really play a lot of multiplayer focused video games. I play some like Smash Brothers. That's probably the big one. But other than that, I don't really play a whole bunch. I'd rather play like board games. Board games are more like the multiplayer things that I do. Yeah, I don't really play much other than that. So Splatoon I have not played and I don't know much about. One of my best friends adores Splatoon, but yeah, it's just never one that grabbed me. I'm sure I would like it if I played it, but it just never hooked me in. So Elden Ring, have not played Elden Ring. I actually just beat Dark Souls, the entire Dark Souls series for the first time this year. I played Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 just this year. And so my next big one is either Demon's Souls or Bloodborne. I'm working my way up to Elden Ring. I will play Elden Ring. But right now, next to the Bloodborne or Demon's Souls, one of the two. And I know I'm gonna play both. Don't worry, but I have not played them yet. Have you heard about the video game Stray? I have, and I beat it. I actually played it on stream a few weeks ago. So hell yes. Miranda, just want to say that I'm really struggling with life in general. Your videos make a difference. Well, Miranda, heart to you. I'm sorry that you're struggling right now, and I want to make sure you know that you are loved and you're amazing and you're absolutely fantastic. Everyone send some love to Miranda. Miranda, you are absolutely loved and amazing and fantastic. And I'm glad I can help in any way and know that you are part of a lovely community, not just here, but like everywhere. There are people who love and adore and care about you, Miranda. So, thank you for being here, and I'm glad I can help in any way. And I'm sorry that you're struggling with stuff. And I hope that you know that you'll get through it and that you are amazing and that everything is going to be okay. So, sending you love, Miranda. Let's see. I will do an Elden Ring stream at some point. I promise you. It will happen. I know Disco Elysium, I started Disco Elysium. I got distracted for some reason or another. I do want to play Disco Elysium very much. The politics of that game sound very interesting to me, and I'm really curious to read it. Starry Mari says, as a trans woman who live streams, I'm honestly quite scared right now. Do you have any tips how I can protect myself still remaining visible? Actually, let me give you this. The games and harassment. So the games and harassment hotline, which I have linked below, it's down below. That's a great number to call if you're ever receiving harassment online or anywhere else. They can give you support. But they actually just released information on how best to protect yourselves from harassment during harassment during like live streams and things. They give you like tools. I'm trying to find it so I can put it in the chat. Where did you go? Because they just sent me this. Mental health. Let me find this for you. Games and online harassment. Live stream harassment, maybe? Here it is. Hate raids. Games and online harassment hotline puts together a guide on handling Twitch hate raids. And let's see if they have the link, because I found the... In fact, I need to put some of these in here, right here. Where's this information? Where the hell? Where the hell is the link? It's just a news article that doesn't link to it? Page opens. Here it is. Here we are. Found it. Okay, I'm gonna put in the... So, let's see, where are you? Starry Mari. I just tagged you in the chat and gave you the information. That link it's a good primer on how to set up and protect yourself on Twitch and it's mainly set up for Twitch, but I think a lot of the learning should also apply to YouTube as well. So check that out. That should give you really great resources to protect yourself on Twitch and on YouTube for hate raids. So check that out. So hopefully that is helpful. So yeah, I'm glad that was able to help. And also I'll plug it again. It's down there below with the Games and Online Harassment Hotline. Text support to that number if you're ever feeling harassment. It's meant for in the gaming community, whether you're a gamer, whether you're a game developer, whether you're a Twitch or streamer or anything like that. It's meant for everyone. But it's not exclusive to that if you're not a gamer, but just like a nerd or anyone. It's not like that. I'm sure they would certainly be willing to help. But it is mainly meant for anyone in the gaming community to reach out to. So please know that that is there for you as a resource. I will call them out. They've done really great work, and I know they're really wonderful people doing a lot of really good stuff behind the scenes over there. So please give them some support and look to them for support if you need it. With that said, speaking of support, Dark Excalibur, I'll say heart. Check out Pulsar Lost Colony co-op Star Trek game where you play as the crew of a ship. It's ooh, okay. That sounds like right up my mission. Jesus, Jessie, how many words per minute do you type? Fast? Very fast? Do you want to, like, I feel like my words per minute is... I kind of want to see what my words per minute is. Does anyone want to see my words per minute? This is how I'll end out the stream. Can I do words per minute test? We're going to do this. Let's have fun with this. Okay. Let's see if I can get this set up real quick. Because now this is kind of fun. I'm always curious. I like to do sort of stuff. So let's see. I can get myself on. Let me get myself on screen so you can actually see me. And pull this up real quick. This will be a fun way to end out the stream. We're just testing my words per minute. And then there I am. Okay. Okay. So let's see if I transition this way. There you go. Can y'all still hear me? You should be able to still hear me. All right, let's do it, and then I'll end up the stream. We'll do this. I'm going to show off. Might as well show off. Let's see if I can do this real quick. All right. Oh, Now it's hard to do without, like, no one being watched. I gave a return. $75 words per minute. I feel like I could probably do a little bit better if I wasn't being watched, but that's essentially my words per minute. So that's pretty decent, right? I feel like that's That's pretty good. So yes, that was my words. That was my words per minute. Hopefully that was fun for everybody. 200 words per minute. Damn, that's a lot. Anywho, hello everybody. Hello everybody. I'm sorry, my brain's now hitting the end of the day. Sending you all very much love. I adore you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so kind, especially on the Matt Walsh video. I needed it because of the shittiness of some of the comments. To promote stuff. The Boys. I have a video on The Boys coming out tomorrow. It's the first of 2 that I'm doing while I'm finishing off my Matt Walsh video. So, video this week and a video in 2 weeks about The Boys. About the politics of The Boys and how people misinterpret The Boys. And then after that will be the Matt Walsh video. So, early September, you'll get the second part of the Matt Walsh video. But that one's going to be a big one. Believe me, it's a long video. But it's going to be a good one. I'm very proud of it, I think. But tomorrow will be the Boys video. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be the first of 2 parts. And then I'm going to try and stream Saturday. Again, no promises just because I'm busy and trying to finish up a bunch of stuff. So hopefully Saturday. Also, randomly, before I forget, if you happen to be at Emerald City Comic Con tomorrow here in Seattle, which is where I live, I will be on a panel called, I forget the exact name of it, but it is essentially why Star Trek Deep Space Nine is a queer gem. I forget the exact title of it, but if you look up Star Trek Deep Space Nine and like queer or LGBTQ stuff, I'm going to be on that panel. So if you're going to be at Emerald City Comic Con and want to say hi, come up and say hi and say hello. I'll be on that panel. We'll be talking about Deep Space Nine and why it's a gay gem. But yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I might be there Saturday, Strawberries. It depends on if I get work done. If I get work done, I'll be there Saturday. If I don't, then I won't be. But yes, hopefully it'll be a fun time. Anyways, watch for my Boys video tomorrow. Otherwise, I send you all love. Well, I might see you Saturday. If not, I'll see you next Thursday for the next stream. Actually, no, you'll see me Tuesday because I have something special on Tuesday. I'll share that when it. My patrons will get on. If you're a patron, you'll know what I'm talking about on Sunday. Tuesday, you'll see the little surprise. I got another cool little interview on the channel. But beyond all that, mwah, Amanda, heart to you. Thank you for being a distraction from the possibly impending being homeless for a second time and having to pray some. I'm sorry, Amanda. Amanda, send everyone Amanda. That sucks and awful and terrible. I'm sorry that's the note we have to end on. But Amanda, sending you love and sending you hearts and amazingness. You are wonderful and amazing. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. Mwah, love to you and to everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all tomorrow for the Boys video, and I will see you either Saturday or Thursday in person for live chats. All right, love you, everybody. Have a good